So yes, welcome everyone. It's Gina Sunderland, Food and Consumer Relations Specialist, dietitian with Manitoba Chicken Producers. Welcome to our National Chicken Month Facebook Live. We have a fantastic evening and we can't wait to get started. I'm joined with a very special guest. I'm joined here by my friend and colleague, Getty Stewart. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and share a little bit with everyone about what you do so well.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Getty. I am a professional home economist and food educator. I love sharing and helping people select, serve, and store their fresh seasonal food. So whether it's herbs or veggies, that's my jam. My jam?
That would be your jam.
You
do make jam.
I do make jam as well. So
beautiful, yeah.
That's what I do, and I'm so excited to be here with you, sharing recipes with one of my favorite protein sources.
Right, you are such a great supporter of local farmers and especially of Manitoba Chicken Producers. You're always coming up with wonderful ideas of how to incorporate that wonderful protein chicken into your diet, and that's why we are here to share some amazing recipes. Before we get started with our first recipe, of course, a celebration of our Manitoba chicken farmers would not be a celebration if we didn't have some fantastic prizes to share with 3 lucky winners tonight. It's so easy, just share a comment, ask Getty or I a question, and you'll be entered into a random draw to win one of 3 $100 grocery gift cards, plenty of grocery money to make both of the recipes we're going to be making tonight and more. And Getty has a very special treat for 3 of you. All right.
We also have a copy of the Everyday Cooking with Herbs cookbook that I wrote.
You wrote.
Made.
This is your book.
Yeah, this spring. So the lucky winners will get a copy of this.
$100 gift card and an exclusive copy to Getty's Everyday Cooking with Herbs cookbook. So Getty, we are going to be cooking with herbs tonight and chicken and wonderful local seasonal vegetables. So we are going to get started with our warm harvest chicken salad. All right, so the way this comes together, super easy. It's almost like a sheet pan meal that you bring together in a bowl and add this wonderful dressing, savory feta, and cranberry. So here we go. So I started with 3 chicken breasts and I just cut them into 1-inch cubes, Getty, and I tossed them with Cajun spice. And on manitobachicken.ca, where you can get these recipes, we also have a Cajun drumstick recipe, and you can use that wonderful Cajun spice to coat your cubed chicken breasts. Now, these bake in the oven for just about 20 minutes at 400 degrees. So I prepped that already. And I love to use parchment, a nice cooking hack. Yeah, it certainly makes cleanup easy. And you also roast vegetables. So all I did was take 2 cups of our butternut squash, 2 cups of sliced Brussels sprouts, and we're going to talk about some substitutes for this recipe so everyone can enjoy it. You roast these for a little longer than the chicken. Chicken cooks in about 20 minutes. These need about 30.
Yeah,
so just a little salt and pepper, a little bit of your favorite oil like canola, local oil. Toss your veggies, put them on the pan, and roast them as well at 400 degrees. So they just all go in together. And have you combine that?
Perfect fall salad because you don't have to worry about lettuce greens and you're using what's in season. I love that so much.
And this salad really travels well. So there is a little secret. I think this is a beautiful salad for any of our fall tables. Wonderful dish to bring to a Thanksgiving potluck or any kind of fall table.
Take to the farmers working on the fields.
Definitely. Yeah. So if you are traveling to a friend or relative's house, toss everything together, but take the dressing in a jar. And we're going to show you how to make that dressing. And just when you're ready to serve, toss that dressing on there. Or if you like things to marinate a little longer, it's a personal preference. You can add it all together and bring it to the destination. Because I love this leftover cold for lunch the next day, and it's been marinated. Yeah. So like I said, we bring in the savory, we bring in the sweets. We have half a cup of feta.
Nice.
Crumbled feta, half a cup of our dried cranberries, or you can use raisins.
A little bit of sweetness there.
Yeah, and I know you are going to teach us how to chop parsley beautifully like this, right?
Yeah.
So we add about a 1/4 cup of chopped parsley, went to my garden and got this. Just love walking out my back door and having access to those amazing fresh herbs.
Look at the pop of color. Add herbs. I love it.
And you're going to teach everyone how to make parsley perfect like that. But before we do that, we're going to show you what really brings this all together. And it's this delicious, zesty dressing. So I'm just going to have you whisk for me. So we've got half a cup of olive oil. You can use canola, whatever your preference is. We have a 1/4 cup of our red wine vinegar. And our emulsifier is a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. That just allows that oil.
Makes it a little creamy.
Yeah, creamy, and the oil and the vinegar to stay combined. 3 cloves of chopped garlic, Manitoba garlic, a little more, a little less, depending on what you like. I've used also fresh oregano for this recipe, but if you don't have fresh, 2 teaspoons of dry, or about 3 teaspoons of fresh, right? A little more when it comes to the fresh herbs, and about half a teaspoon of both salt and pepper.
Nice.
Oh, that smells very, very good, Getty. Okay.
Okay,
All right,
you happy with that?
I'm extremely happy with that. That looks just delicious. I am ready.
Okay, let's do it. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And it is that simple. Look at that. Looks great.
Gina, I have a confession.
Okay, yes, okay. I can handle the news. Go ahead, Getty.
Okay, I don't like Brussels sprouts.
I know, but we decided we love this recipe because you have made it a little different.
Absolutely. I mean, I love this idea, and if you are like me and don't love Brussels sprouts, it's okay.
It's okay.
And, you know, when you see a recipe like this on manitobachicken.ca, don't shy away of it just because there's one ingredient that you may not prefer. So what I would do is I would replace the Brussels sprouts with either kale or I would use green beans. Now, I would have to cook them a little less than the squash, so I just add them a little later. But that's how I would, like, I love the recipe. I love the dressing. I love the chicken.
It's a wonderful combination of flavors and herbs and contrasting flavors. And you can even use roast broccoli or cauliflower. The sky is really the limit, right? And that's one of the wonderful things about cooking is you can swap ingredients and make it work for you and your family. Or if you don't have Brussels sprouts and you do have a head of cauliflower in your fridge, then go for it. Exactly. So I am super excited to go to our classic chicken stew. You've got all kinds of great tips. You are also going to show us how you get that parsley so beautifully chopped. But before we do that, we have a very special treat this evening. We are going to take you onto 3 of our family-owned and operated Manitoba chicken farms. But first, we're going to introduce you to Evie and Rod Weeb, and they are going to talk all about the changes that have come to chicken farming to make things so much easier for them and how efficient the farming has become to raise that wonderful chicken for all of us to enjoy year-round, because that's why we are here celebrating our 144 chicken farmers here in Manitoba. Then we're going to take you over to Rolly and Leanne's farm, and they're going to share why they are so excited to have the opportunity to re-enter agriculture as Manitoba Chicken Producers farmers. And then finally, we're going to introduce you to one of our younger farmers, Rachel, and she is going to share why she just simply loves being a chicken farmer. So over to our Manitoba chicken farms.
My name is Evie Weeb. I'm a proud Manitoba chicken farmer. So modern farming is much more specialized. So on our farm we have one animal, and my husband and I are professionals at chickens.
So the chickens eat a diet that is largely grain-based, so wheat, corn, that type of grain, and then often there's also additives such as minerals, vitamins, nutrients that are added into the feed and protein for the chicken to get its optimum diet for health and growth.
There is no steroid or hormone use in chicken feed. It has been banned in Canada since the 1960s. I'm very proud to be a Manitoba chicken farmers. We're part of a whole community that makes sure there's fresh, local chicken on our shelves every day of the year.
I've always wanted to be a farmer. I went to school to come back to the farm and be a farmer along with my brother and my dad. That wasn't a viable option for us at one point, and so I chose to explore some other options. Je m'appelle Roland, j'habite à Somerset. Je suis fermier de poulet. So a number of years ago, through my work and my interaction with farmers in the area, we learned of a new entrant program that was hosted by Manitoba Chicken Producers, and we decided to participate, and we're fortunate enough to be selected to apply.
Our application was successful in 2017, and we started building the barn in 2018, and production started 2019. So we raise broiler chickens, and that's chicken for meat. It's great to see Rolly and his brother working together so well, and it's kind of funny to see them working because they don't even need to talk sometimes. They just kind of know what each other's thinking, and yeah, they get along really well and run the barn together really well.
So we are new chicken producers, but we're not new farmers. We, from the get-go, from the very start, understood that paying attention to the little details really minimizes how much you have to deal with the big details. And so that just came naturally to us. I'm very grateful to be a farmer, once again. It's something that's you're born with, it's something that's in your blood, and it's hard to teach. I'm very grateful to be able to continue as a farmer.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and I'm super excited today to tell you all about chicken farming and give you a tour of my chicken barn. Just like 97% of farms here in Manitoba, ours is family owned and operated. I am the third generation to work on our family grain farm and chicken farm. I currently work with my parents and my 2 brothers. Alright, as you can see, we are now inside the chicken barn, and it's nice and warm in here, and these are just one of the things I love. I love coming into the barn here and checking on the birds every day, multiple times. So as you can see behind me, the chickens are able to run anywhere and everywhere throughout the barn. We call this free run. And so there's no cages in any Manitoba broiler farms or actually across the entire country. We're all cage free for broiler chicken operations. Now, they have access to feed and water all the time, because you can see that the water lines and the feeder lines go all the way to the back end of the barn. I am super proud to be a part of an industry that can provide healthy local chicken for your family and for my family all year round.
Well, a huge thank you to our Manitoba Chicken Producers farmers. Their stories are just amazing. We are so lucky and so blessed to have access to local, healthy chicken 12 months of the year because of the hard work of our farmers. I just, I don't know how to say thank you enough. We are just so simply lucky to have access to this incredible food. And it's so versatile, and we are going to make another fantastic Manitoba chicken recipe. Absolutely. And Getty is going to take us through this one.
Yeah.
All right.
I love the enthusiasm and passion that those farmers show. Like 365 days of the year, they're out there making sure that we get chicken for recipes like this classic chicken stew. And this is something that's perfect for fall, and as days get colder, we are going to use tonight chicken thighs, but you can definitely use chicken breasts or even bone-in chicken for this recipe.
Right. So you've done a little poll. Maybe you can just share those poll results. Yeah. I'm just going to plug this back in.
So I asked my Instagram fans, would they use thighs, breasts, or bone-in? And thighs and breasts are pretty neck and neck. They're about 50-50, and about 20% would use bone-in. And a lot of comments about, we will just use whatever is on sale and most affordable. And that's how I shop too. So either and any of those kinds of chicken work well for this recipe.
Thanks, Getty. Yeah. We are rocking and rolling. We just had a little tech issue.
Oh, no worry.
Yeah, we got our stove going, and thank you, because yes, chicken is versatile, and with a stew like this, absolutely, you can use any cut.
Yeah.
Buy what's on sale, put it in your freezer. Always great to have. And something we've done experimenting with this recipe is you can make a double or triple batch and freeze just the right amount for your family. Yeah. Thaw it overnight, and supper is ready.
Perfect.
All right, Getty.
Love that.
Okay.
We're going to start with just heating up a little bit of oil.
Yes, indeed.
Then we're going to get right to our chicken, and like I said, we're using chicken thighs.
So nice and tender, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to brown those up a little bit. And then we're going to go to some of our root veggies. So
perfect. More harvest veggies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So another great affordable way to cook is using seasonal ingredients. Right. And so right now you're going to get potatoes and carrots and celery and onions, and those are going to be great options. And of course they last long, so they're going to be great throughout the year. Okay. So we're going to get that chicken going, let that brown a little bit. Right. It's the browning that's going to give us some flavor and
color
to our dish. We're going to speed things up a little bit more than you might do at home.
Right.
But
we have made this stew together, and you can just see how beautiful it comes together. But yes, indeed, we can't do that all. And so for those of you that are just tuning in, please ask Getty or I a question. That will allow you entry into the draw for one of 3 $100 grocery gift cards, enough to make these recipes and more. And of course, Getty's absolutely beautiful Everyday Cooking with Herbs cookbook. Everything you need to know. Getty, you are an expert when it comes to cooking with herbs, and I just wanted you to show people a couple little tips and tricks. Okay.
So we were talking about using parsley in our different dishes. And parsley is such a great garnish. And, you know, my mom would always just, you know, take a little snip off the top and put it in the center.
Right.
But if you want to have a little bit more finer cut, then here's a trick that I've learned for doing parsley. Rather than plucking off the individual leaves, take your knife and sort of run it along, and those tops will come off.
Okay.
And the stem stays behind, and you are good to go. And then you can just fine chop as much as you want. And this is a tender green herb. So tender green herbs go in at the end. At the end of cooking. Do not put parsley in at the start as you would dried thyme or something like that.
Right.
It just won't hold. The flavor and
You'll
the color
lose
will
the
disappear.
flavor and you'll lose the color. Excellent, excellent tip. I love all these tips that you always share with everyone, Getty.
So
they're
that's
the best.
our garnish.
So something that would be more of a hard herb might be something like our bay leaves.
Our bay leaves, we want to cook those longer. They're going to infuse flavor.
Okay.
We are also, in this recipe,
Yes.
there's so many great herbs.
Yes,
So-
there is.
But again, I want to caution you or sort of give you permission that if you don't have all of the herbs, it's okay.
Yeah.
There's enough in here. You make the flavor. You decide what kind of flavor you want. If you don't have marjoram, don't worry about it. If you don't have tarragon, don't worry about it.
Right.
For the marjoram, I use a little bit of basil, use a little bit of oregano,
Right.
or
Okay.
just make the best with what you have.
Exactly.
The
Okay.
thyme, so in the recipe it shows that you can use half a teaspoon of dried thyme.
Yes.
When you're using fresh herbs, you want to use about 3 times more.
Of course,
of
right?
of the fresh.
Because they still have the water content in them, right? And when it's dried, makes sense.
Yeah.
You need more.
Yeah, you concentrate the flavor when you dry it. Of
course.
Now, you could strip this or you could
Get
toss
those little
them
leaves off.
in whole.
The sprigs.
So, the sprigs.
Yeah.
So with thyme, I like to do the sprigs. So I'm going to do about 3 or 4 little sprigs. So that's what I would toss into the pot.
Okay, perfect.
Now, we also have marjoram, and again, you can use dried or, if you've had the opportunity to grow some marjoram, and this is what it looks like. Look at those tiny little flowers and buds.
It smells so good, too.
Right? It's so fragrant.
Uh-huh.
So this would taste a little bit like a cross between basil and oregano.
Right.
Very fragrant, but a mild, sweet kind of flavor or scent to it.
Yes.
So, again, there's our marjoram.
Okay.
I have chopped some of the fresh marjoram and just give that a smell. Just
Oh my goodness, you guys, you have to get some marjoram. That is
it's
beautiful.
just, amazing.
Amazing is
I love
right.
it. I love it.
Cannot wait to try your stew, Getty. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, the other thing that we're adding is this tarragon.
Yes, I
And
love tarragon.
Yeah. I have a patch, and if any of you have a patch, it's probably like gigantic.
Yeah.
And you grow way more than you ever use. So it's always nice to find a recipe that uses it.
And what would you do if you want to preserve it to have it later into the season? Like I you know what? I'm already starting to get sad because I love all my fresh herbs.
Yeah.
But I want to use them all winter long. Certainly I make pesto from basil, but what else can we do to give the length of life to those beautiful local herbs?
So tarragon is one that I would dry.
Okay.
Some of the leafy greens, they are so at holding their flavor. Tarragon as well, although it holds it a little bit better than say a dill.
Okay.
The other thing, you can infuse your vinegars with this.
Tarragon vinegar, of course.
Yeah, you've seen it.
Fantastic.
Add a little bit of lemon peel, and you've got a great.
I love
flavored
it.
vinegar.
Wonderful.
So I chopped the tender leaves, left the stem behind. We're going to add that.
Okay.
How are we doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Yeah. We got a little slow here, but we'll just continue right on.
Okay. Now we're going to also add some sage. Now, if there's an herb you think about pairing with chicken in the fall, it's got to be sage, right? Like if you think turkey stuffing.
Yeah, rosemary, thyme, and sage. Those are the classic poultry herbs. And yes, this recipe pretty much has them. So I love that.
Yeah.
I love
and
the smell of
it's
fresh
so
sage.
pretty and fuzzy and beautiful. So again, you could add the herbs like this. If you want a little bit more flavor, like just break them a little bit.
Massage them a little bit.
Them
Great idea. I didn't know that.
Just smell it now.
Wow.
Right?
Yes,
What a
yes,
difference.
what a difference. Okay.
Or you could chop it.
Okay.
So you decide. Do you want to leave that whole
Okay.
like this, or you can chop it?
So you're saying you can almost use the sage leaves, kind of like you'd use bay leaves.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
Saves
again,
time.
because they're hardy.
Yes.
You can add them in early
Okay.
because they're a little tougher.
They're a little
so
tougher.
because they're a little tougher, if you did choose to cut them, take out the stem, the hard stem.
I like what you're doing. You're pulling that stem right out. Maybe you should show everyone what you're doing. That's really neat.
So I'm sort of pinching
Yes,
the leaf
yes, you
together,
are.
and then just take that out.
Honestly, Getty, I am amazed. I'm always learning just the best things from you.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm
for
just
sure.
amazing.
You are amazing. You and I, we love to cook, and I love to learn from you.
You too, Gina. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
now I would make a chiffonade, which
Okay.
is basically layering
All
your
right,
leaves
everybody,
and
watch this
roll,
carefully.
Roll.
Okay.
And then you do this with basil as well.
Yes,
and then
you
get,
do so well.
Then you get your little ribbons.
Yes. Fantastic.
Okay, and then if you wanted it even smaller, because let's say you have someone who doesn't like bits in their,
I might have someone like that in my house.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say any names, but
No,
yeah.
So chop it as small and as fine as you'd like. And
Okay,
then,
okay.
boom, there's a
Excellent,
collection of herbs for our dish.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our chicken in here. It's just starting to brown. Our stove is giving us just a little bit of trouble,
Yeah.
but that's okay. We will continue.
We're gonna keep going.
We are
All
going
right.
to keep going.
Next, of course, is the aromatics. There's nothing like adding a little bit of onions
Yes.
and garlic. Now, normally I would let the onions go a little bit because you don't want to burn your garlic.
And caramelize them a little bit, right? Well, we're going to try. We're going to try. And now we're adding our garlic.
We're just going for it.
We're going for it, girl.
Yeah. This is live TV cooking.
Yeah.
Facebook Live cooking, whatever the case may be, and we wing it.
We wing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what comes next,
So
my friend?
then, this is where, so you've got a nice saute going. We should season our chicken with a little salt and pepper.
Okay.
So let's add some of that.
Right, and you know what, you and I, we love to just mix that salt and pepper together, so we always have it on hand, right?
Yeah.
It's a good little time-saving tip. Such a standard, seasoning, especially for chicken. Okay, yeah, we're getting a little browning here, Getty.
Nice.
So we're in gear here.
We're cooking.
All right, okay.
So we're gonna add our seasoning, and
Yes.
it's nice to let that get a little bit aromatic. So our dried paprika, we're gonna add that. You could probably even get away with your Cajun chicken spice.
You probably could, because that's the main herb in Cajun seasoning is paprika.
Yeah.
Paprika and oregano and pepper.
A
Yeah.
little bit of spiciness.
Uh-huh.
And then we're gonna add our robust herbs. So our marjoram can go in.
Yes, indeed. That smells great.
And tarragon's pretty tough as well. So we're adding that. We're adding our sage.
Okay.
It's gonna smell good around here.
It is smelling good. Honestly, you guys, these herbs are beautiful.
Sprigs of thyme.
Yeah.
Actually, we're gonna add those with our basil leaves so that it's gonna be easy for us to stir in.
So they're going to
the
simmer
flour.
away. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So next comes our flour.
Next comes our flour.
Thank you.
So that's
our thickener.
The thickness from this stew comes from this flour base. So
Right. It's kind of like a roux in a way. Yeah. Okay. It's coming along.
All right.
All right. And this is sort of your classic stew, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard a little saying that chefs will often say it's really hard to make a good recipe without an onion. And they've had contests before to see if chefs can make something really delicious without an onion. But I think it would be hard to make a delicious stew without an onion.
Yeah.
Okay, Getty.
So there's another thing. If you really love the texture of onions, you can definitely keep your pieces a lot bigger. I mean, I prefer smaller diced onions.
Yeah.
But if you like bigger chunks of onion and eating them like with your bowl of stew, then leave them, like quarter them or 1/8 little pieces of the whole onion. And then you really get to enjoy that. Either way, you get the flavor.
Yes.
Right?
So it's almost like it becomes like part of the vegetables.
Yeah.
I've done that before when I roast chicken, put chunks of whole onion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all
now
right, here we
are
go.
going to add the stock. We're adding chicken stock.
Okay.
And you want to stir in that flour and make sure that it thickens.
No
and
lumps.
all the
No
things.
lumps. We
Yeah.
are going to work here. I will stir.
So
All right, Getty. Yep.
Don't want any lumps.
No, we don't. This is looking good. Looking good.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Oh my goodness, smelling good too. All right.
And then we are going to add our veggies. So we've
Okay.
got some celery.
Perfect.
We've got carrots.
Ah,
And
wonderful that
you
we can get
see
those
that it's going to
gorgeous.
get nice and thick, and the
Yes.
ratio of goodies to to stock.
This is just
It's gonna
full
be
of
stew.
goodness.
It's going to be stew,
full of
not
goodness.
soup. So
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
look at the colors.
It's
Oh
starting
my
to
God.
come out. Yes, it is.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect, Getty.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add the heartier herbs, right, at the end?
Yes.
Okay.
Before we let it simmer, we're going to
Okay.
add our thyme,
Okay.
and we're going to add our
Sprigs of
basil.
thyme.
So again, it seems like we're using a lot of herbs, and if you have them all, fantastic. If you have
Sure.
them in the dried form, great. Use the dried if you don't have the fresh. If you are missing one or two, it's okay. You're
Right.
it's gonna
Just
still
add a
be
different
great.
favorite
Yeah.
herb. You got it. Right.
You know, taste
a little
and
more
adjust.
pepper. Yeah,
Yeah.
taste and adjust. So, Getty, the last step is we bring this up to a boil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then we just
And then we're going to simmer it for
Okay.
about 30 minutes
Okay.
to get our vegetables nice and
Perfect.
tender. Our
Okay.
chicken will be done by then for sure. And
you're-
if you need to check,
yeah.
use a meat thermometer.
Meat thermometer,
right?
165 degrees Fahrenheit on the meat thermometer into one of your largest chunks of chicken, and your house will smell divine, and everyone will be running for dinner.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
should we just pop the lid on
Let's
and let
pop the
this
lid
start
on that.
simmering? And I am so excited. One of my favorite parts about doing a live is engaging with the people that tune in. And so we are going to go right over to those questions. And we have a very special moderator joining us tonight. It is Ian McGoslin, and he helps us do these wonderful live streams so all of you can see so well about what's going on. So Ian, what is the first question that we have?
That's a great question. The first question
Okay.
is, what other herbs or spices can work well with the warm harvest salad?
Ah, that is a great question. All right. Well, it has the dried oregano in the dressing and it has the parsley, but I've also used basil in that salad.
Yeah.
You could use dill and give it a completely different flavor.
Yeah.
And I bet you could use some tarragon, like a tarragon type vinegar. You were saying how it goes well. So those
You could
would be,
also do a balsamic vinegar with that.
Sure you
and
could.
just have that little bit of sweetness, but a little bit of tart from the vinegar in that.
Right.
The tarragon has a light licorice,
Yes,
sometimes
light
little
licoricey taste.
citrus
Yeah.
flavor. So that would perk it up as well.
And I bet you
Yeah.
some of your beautiful marjoram
Yeah.
would work just lovely for
Yeah.
that salad. So yeah, I think the sky's the limit.
If
really.
it's the heat that somebody wants to avoid with the Cajun seasoning,
Right.
then just use a blend of paprika
Yep.
and salt and pepper and
Yeah.
maybe a bit of chili.
If you want.
chili powder.
Yeah.
Not the spicy kind, just the kind
regular,
that-
your standard traditional.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep, that would do the trick.
and take out the
Exactly.
heat. Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely. I've made it just with the paprika, salt, and pepper when I haven't had time to make the Cajun spice. Excellent question. All right.
We've had lots of questions about keeping herbs ahead of the colder weather. So people are asking if you can freeze them, and what's the best way to keep them fresh longer, and also what's the proper way to dry them, and how long does it take?
Love that
Okay,
question.
all the kinds of questions. I'm going to go into my
And-
magic drawer.
And 3 lucky people are going to get
Yeah.
the encyclopedia tonight. Yes, indeed.
So in my herb book, I do have a chart on best herbs to freeze, best herbs to dry, because some will keep their flavor better dried than
sure.
frozen, and vice versa. Some really, like, I hate to say it, I love dill,
right.
but it doesn't dry well and it doesn't freeze well. Like, sure, you can
Okay.
do it, but you're going to lose flavor fairly quickly.
So you probably have to use more or try to use it up quickly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
so,
right.
so that's one. I mean, go for it, but be prepared that it's going to
Okay.
start losing flavor pretty quick.
I know. I love the fall. I love the
Yeah.
harvest. But one of the things I get sad about is losing my beautiful backyard herbs. But you're going to show us all here how we can get more life out of those herbs.
Yeah,
Okay.
So my
Yes. It's been out for a little bit.
It's been out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Parsley, actually, this is the herb that you leave in the garden for the longest.
Long
Like,
as possible.
the snow is flying and you can still harvest
Yes,
parsley.
you can.
So,
Yeah.
so keep it out there. Don't rush to bring it in.
Okay.
When you do bring it in, or if you're buying parsley
Yes.
or other green herbs, a good idea is to wrap it in a slightly damp.
Yeah, just
it's
a little
not
damp.
bone dry. It's not sopping wet.
Right.
And wrap it. And,
Excellent.
And then put it in a plastic bag. So
Perfect.
when you're storing the herbs, you want to control for moisture and temperature. Something like a sage,
Yes.
because it's already on the drier side, like it,
Yeah.
it dries really well. So you could hang this up.
Perfect.
I'm going to
I
redecorate.
love
I'm going
that.
to hang the herbs from
Right, just
your
like you
lake.
hang flowers
Yeah.
to dry, right?
Yeah.
Hanging roses. Wonderful. So just maybe wrap an elastic band around it, make a
Yeah.
little bouquet of your sage, and hang it upside down.
You just need to
Wonderful.
don't overcrowd it. Like if you
Right.
have a really tight bundle, air can't get in there and you're gonna
Got
get mold.
you.
So
You don't want mold. No.
Keep it nice and loose
Okay.
and airy.
Okay.
Same with your marjoram, your
Okay.
oregano, you could hang that.
Excellent.
Your parsley, I personally chop and freeze
Chop
if
and
I want
freeze.
to keep it longer
So
than
simply
that.
chop and freeze.
Chop and freeze for parsley with something like basil that's a little bit more
Yes.
delicate. Add a little bit of oil to coat the leaves.
Kind of like
and
the
you'll-
pesto concept.
Yeah. Without the nuts and
Right.
parmesan.
Makes it
'cause
really simple.
You can't always afford that.
No,
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
But it's just
And
a
you don't
nice way to
always need it.
preserve. No, you don't always need it. No.
Yeah.
Excellent. These are great tips. I love it. Wonderful. Well, I'm feeling happier now about how to maintain the life of my fresh garden herbs. Do we have another question, Ian?
Yeah, there was a question about the chicken stew.
Okay.
People were asking if they can also prepare it in a crock pot or an instant pot.
Yes, indeed, they could. Yeah, I would.
I am not an Instant Pot person, so, but of course you could.
Right.
And the hearty vegetables, I would probably cut them a little bit bigger so that they don't go to mush in the crock pot.
Right, because potato can break down.
Yeah.
So you could leave the carrots kind of in like the way you might do for roast carrots.
Yeah.
Sure, that would be
Yeah.
great. I would probably do it in a crock pot on medium. I would brown the chicken first for all that
Yeah,
caramelization flavor, add everything, and then I would cook it on medium heat for 4 to 6 hours. Instapot, follow your instructions. Probably need to bring it up to pressure. That take about 10 minutes and probably 23 minutes. You're going to have perfect, wonderful, delicious chicken stew. And again, the house is going to smell fantastic any which way you prepare this recipe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking if they thaw and bread chicken strips, cook them, can they freeze the now cooked strips?
If they thaw and cook
Thaw and bread
chicken strips, okay,
cook them,
cook them.
can they freeze?
Yes, they can. Yes, you could freeze cooked chicken for 3 months. Yeah, that's a great question. Sure.
Yep.
You want to do a batch prepping, right? You've got this chicken that you've frozen because you got it on sale. Now you're going to take our crispy Parmesan chicken strip recipe and make it with your kids one Saturday afternoon. And you are going to freeze modular meals for those busy weeknights. Perfect. Freeze it for up to 3 months. Let it thaw overnight in the fridge. And I might give it a little spritz of some canola oil and pop it in the oven on parchment and get it nice and crisped up again. Nice. Yeah, I don't think I would microwave it to retherm it. I would get it in that oven.
I like that crispy up.
Yeah, give it a little
Yeah.
crisping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Somebody's asking, what's the best way to thaw or defrost chicken, and do they need to wash it before cooking?
Ah, these are great questions. Okay. Well, absolutely the best way to thaw chicken is to thaw it in the refrigerator overnight in something with an edge, just to